This is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and I am going to show you a new tool that close to my heart is carrying. And this is an organizational tool. So, whoopee, because we always love stuff for organization, right? And on top of it, this is acrylic. So, I mean, does that get any better, having an organizational tool that's clear? I don't know why I love clear things so much, but I do. And so I am pulling all these pieces out, and they're wrapped beautifully. They're each is individually wrapped in these nice little foam bags. And that happens to be the roof of the carousel. And note those little open squares. And that's going to be and there's the piece that matches up with that open square. So that's going to hold things like pens or watercolor pencils or brushes or that kind of thing. Now, the rest of these quarter circles are just plain. So that one at the top there is the only one that is specific for a specific thing. So I'm just unloading, and to tell you the truth, I have no idea. I didn't know how I was going to get this, so it comes packaged flat. Here's the simple instructions, and I will say simple meaning very few words. So it took me a bit of finagling and fussing to figure out what's what. So there's the base piece. And that is the Lazy Susan. So that is what is going to allow the carousel to spin. And I mean, how much do you love that? So I'm going to pull out all the rest of the pieces. These are bigger pieces, and they are the petitions. Now see, there is one, and then this is the other, and you see that long slit. They're going to go into each other, and all of those slots, though those are identical petitions, and the slots line up perfectly with each other so that you can, and you notice how many open slots there are. So that's how many adjustments you can make to the shelves. So you can make all the shelves just perfectly the height of whatever you're putting there. So I'm just trying to figure out just exactly how the Lazy Susan goes to the base. And so you want to have the walls of the base and the roof. You want the walls going up so that it holds all your items in place within the carousel. So I'm just kind of doing a dry run to kind of figure out how this all works. So I think I realize first you need to do is put that on, and the petitions will go into those slots. So, but you really need to stabilize the Lazy Susan first. But I'm just kind of figuring out how this all gets put together. So it's taken me a bit to to figure it out. They don't have anything really numbered or whatever, but it's not like there's a whole lot of pieces, so it really shouldn't be that hard. Some of us are not as mechanical as others. Anyway, so that's how the petition goes in there. And then you just line up those slots and put the petitions at right angles to each other. And it just slides ever so nicely down and then fits in the grooves. Or the open slots, whatever you want to call them. So I'm just kind of figuring out what I need to do. And that's a bag of little rubber bands. They're sort of like rubber bands, because those are going to fit around those little feet on the other side of the slots, and that's what stabilizes everything. Okay, so what I've done is take off the petitions, and I am going to get that little screw and the little washer that are in their own bag. And I had to go get a screwdriver. And you want a Phillips head. And you want a small Phillips head. So like this one is too big. And I'm trying to screw the little screw in, and it was really too big of a screwdriver. So I had to, actually in the handle of that screwdriver is a smaller Phillips head and slot screwdriver. So I'm just taking the pieces out. And first you put the washer down, and it kind of fits over a groove there, so you kind of figure out how it has to go. So I'm putting the washer down, and then I'm putting the screw in place. And so, and you know, when you're screwing things, you really should hold your screwdriver perpendicular to your screw. And I know better than that. I don't know what I'm thinking here. Well, it's not fitting. That's what I'm thinking. So I have to take my screwdriver apart, and so you want to find a small Phillips head to begin with. And I had like a giant one in there. Just being totally silly. So eventually I find the smaller one. And I kind of realize that the screw is still loose. So I have the Lazy Susan facing the right way. And now I'm just screwing that in tighter. And it's getting nice and tight. But you don't want to do it to the point that you break the plexi either. So there we go. There's our little Lazy Susan. And of course, you know, when you have the carousel, you're going to spin it around to go to the other side and get what you need. Okay, so here I am putting the little feet in the slots on the bottom. And, you know, the easiest thing would be to just go ahead and put your rubber bands in, you know, one petition at a time. But of course, that's not how I do things. So now I've got to flip it over and put the rubber bands in place. And I mean, you will be amazed at how quickly things stabilize once you put those little rubber bands around the feet. So, and it's true of the little petitions, I mean, the little shelves that go into the petitions. So each of those little feet that go into the slots, they have like little hooks on them. And so see, there's, I put one in, and now you're going to see me put the other one in. So there's the little foot sticking up through the slot. There's the ring. And then you just pull it over, and it just holds up on both of those little hooks. Here we go. And so I've got all 4 of them in now. There we go. So it becomes nice, and that becomes nice and stable. So I'm going to flip it over. Isn't that cool? I really like this. So, and I'm thinking that what you can do is for each of your projects, say you're working on a particular paper or card kit, or scrapbooking or card kit. So if you want to pull your blocks for your stamps and the particular colors of ink that you need to go with your project, then you can change those things out and put them on your carousel. So there's the roof. Now the roof goes in and the wall is facing up. And there are those squares. And I'm fussing with it a little bit. But you definitely want to have the wall on the edge there facing upwards so that when you put things in there, they won't fall over the edge. So I need to put the rubber bands in place on the roof, but I'm putting the petitions in the quarter circles. And, what you want to do is kind of figure out, where do you want to put your ink? Where do you want to put your blocks? Where do you want to put your tape runner? Where do you want to put your liquid glue? All these things that you use on a regular basis for your projects. And that's what you want to, like if you have something tall, say the gloss spray, for instance, then you want to have a little bit taller or a shelf that's lower so a taller thing can fit in it. So there I am putting one shelf in place. And the thing to do is to, go ahead and put your rubber bands in. And I don't think that you're given rubber bands enough for every single little foot. But I'm telling you, if you put one rubber band on each side of your quarter circle, that will hold your shelves in place very strongly. So here's my square, and it's going to get lined up with the open squares on the roof so that I can set my journaling pens, maybe my gold markers, which I have kind of fallen in love with. So there you want to put your little rubber bands around those little feet, and it stabilizes all your shelves. So I'm kind of putting things in here and there. I'm not really measuring anything yet, but that's what I would do, is I would measure the size of, how much height that you want. So here I've put all my rubber bands in place, and I kind of put a bunch of stuff in to show you. I've got my anti-static pouch. I've got my eraser that takes off the glue. And so I'm going to bring my camera down so you can kind of see what I put on my shelves. My intense black, I use it all the time. There's my tape runners and some re-inker and some plexi blocks and my liquid glue, the Tombow and the liquid glass, and my spray bottles of gloss. So anyway, and there's also, I've got some of my little, oh my gosh, I forgot what they're called, the little holders. So here is just the picture of the clear carousel with nothing on it. And the next picture shows you, some ideas of what to put on your thing. So I hope you guys like this. I love mine. I can't wait to start using it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.